think we're good. I can't see nothing because of the sun. The sun's directly behind me. So it's coming in through the window. But I think we're good. We're going to head up to Logansport, Indiana. And of course, we're going to go up the back road. And I think I can run in Highway 25 up there. Let's see, yeah, 25 goes into Lafayette. Okay. I think I've got a good idea of where we're going. So basically I want to try and stay on 25 up to Lafayette, and then Lafayette we'll put me into Interstate 65 and we go under that if I remember rightly, and then I'll head up to Logansport. Go get the trailer washed out because that's a fresh place, so it's always handy to get the trailer washed out for fresh. Frozen's not so bad, but fresh is a little different. I think I already said this is Covington, didn't I? This is Covington, Indiana.
Your seatbelt is unbuckled. Changing, I tell thee, everywhere I go now I see more and more of these signs turning up, verify the media before you believe them. And it's amazing, for 4 years majority of people stood with the media, thought they were telling the truth, and it took one potato and an e-pad to get a majority, hopefully it's more than a majority as it goes along, to realise that they're all full of crap. Not all media. There has been the occasional media that will tell the halfway truth, but never the full truth, because you can't spin a story. If you don't spin a story, you don't get no views. So, but I've never really worried about it anyway. You take everything with a pinch of salt. But I like alternative media now. Yet again, you take it with a pinch of salt. It's up to you what you believe, but alternative alternative media gives you a way better picture than the standard propagandist media, as they like to be called. Well, they don't like to be called that, but that's what people call them, which is true. So there's a lot of things happening, and you don't always see it, but you definitely start hearing about it. We're going up to exit 25 up here, and I think that is highway 25 then. Good old Indiana, the roads are always a little rough in Indiana. So we delivered last night to Danville, which was back up the road about 10 miles or so. So we delivered there last night to Sigma in Danville. That actually went better than I thought it would. Got there at 7:30, had to wait. Our appointment was 8 o'clock, but you couldn't check in till 9. Then eventually I got a hold of someone, and then didn't have an appointment, and then I gave them the PO, and they eventually got me in. They actually did it really well. I got there at 7:30 and I pulled out at 11:15, so I was pretty impressed by that. That was pretty awesome, considering that I thought I was going to be there a lot longer because as I didn't have an appointment time. And I had 2 PO numbers, and when I looked at the paperwork, the only difference was there was a 2 and a 3 right next to the C for Charlie, and I didn't see it because you're looking at the numbers and they all look the same. And it was just that one. If the number had been different at the front, it would have made a big difference. But it was right there, about 5 digits in, and I didn't spot it. So I think the first PO I gave her was the reason why it wasn't booked in. Is I believe it's because the 2 POs and the other PO was an added PO. That's what I believe now. Because when I gave him the paperwork, he went, "Oh, hang on a minute, you got another PO," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's one. There's one PO with a 2 and one PO with a 3, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Now, okay, now I see why. But they were decent. I said, will I get a nap for 4 hours or what? And he's like, I'll see what we can do, and he didn't. He got me in and out straight away, so that was pretty happy. I was pretty happy, not that was pretty happy, I was pretty happy for that. Messing with the camera, as always. If it's not straight, it bothers me, so I have to get it. The phone has to look reasonably straight, otherwise my brain can't do it. No, that's my brain right there. It says no, it has to be straight, Mark. So if there's movement and noises, it's my finger. Oh, that's too funny. She's still going. Pennsylvania lad. They are so funny, big. They really are. They crack me up. He's still coming. They don't like you passing them, man. They're really weird. They just, I never understand it. They see you coming and they get a little faster and a little faster, and it's like, okay then. Yes, I know. Don't have to tell me. Such a tittle tattle, man. It tells on me. Get a Logan's put, we're going to pick a load up and it's going to go to Prairie in Wisconsin, which is north of Chicago. So you go up through Chicago and then it's south of Milwaukee. It's not, Pleasant Prairie's not far over the Illinois-Wisconsin line. Still coming, by the way. He is so coming. So funny. Got my window fixed, which only you two would know about, but that JB weld and everything that I put on it yesterday, that worked. So my window broke, the bottom of the window, it rusted out, and give me a second, this is really irritating me. There we go, that's better. Oh, try and get into gear, Mark. I could have stayed behind her, but there's no fun in that. There's no fun staying behind people. I could have, but not today. No. Under normal circumstances, I probably would have.
won't get out. I do everything to get him out, her, whatever, and it will not get out. It, I can't get it out, the fly. And it's in my face, that's why I go sometimes. My excuse for all over the road is the flies, there you go. I will use the flies as an excuse. Not my appalling driving, just the flies. Lord of the flies. So yes, my window is holding so far. It's up and down, and it hasn't, all the vibration, the weld hasn't broke away. So the bottom of the window, there's a slide it sits in, which then mounts to a bracket for it to go up and down the arm. And the bracket broke away from the slide where the window would sit into, like a channel. Sorry, there you go, in the channel, because the channel rusted out because water was getting down in there. So I used JB Weld yesterday and I got it welded back up again. First time it didn't take because I was silly, and I did it and it was too much weight, and I had it up and it pulled itself apart. But it gave it a base, and the second time around when I used the second tube it held, so now we're good. So I saved myself a heap of money by and it doesn't matter, I might as well do it like that. It's not a major problem, so I'm grateful that I did it, because it's a pain in the booty to take the whole door panel apart to get to what you got to get to. It is a pain in the booty. So Logansport, Indiana, load's ready, drop trailer, pick up load to go to Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin for 7 o'clock tonight. And I don't even know if they work at night time. I'm not even sure. We'll find out. We will find out. But I do know that they have parking, and that's the only thing that I worry about is, can I get there and park? If I can park, I'm happy. Good thing is that we've came into fall, or autumn as I like to call it. So we have came into fall / autumn, and so the temperatures are cooler, so I get to sleep now without having to run a fan and the windows open and being attacked by Lord of the Flies. And that is truly a very, very exciting thing to happen. It's a bit of a spoil to be able to sleep with the windows closed, so. So while you get up to Logansport, I go past Tyson's, and there's a truck stop just down the road with a wash bay for reefers and for cattle wagons, for livestock trailers. So we go down there and we'll get the trailer washed out. I think it's like $40, but everything's gone up. Inflation's gone up by about 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10%. So it's funny because I look at the price of goods that I've brought over the years, and this year I've watched an increase so far of anywhere up to sometimes a 30% increase. There's no one around, so we'll stay this side of the road. waiting across the road, I think. Yeah, she was waiting across the road. Huh. It's interesting. I wonder why he did that. That's why. That's why. Never run this road before. I've run the top side, Lafayette. That's a totally different. It's not like this. So I've run that before, but I've never run the bottom. And that's why I could have come up here last night, or well, early hours of this morning, and I was like, no, because I don't know what I'm trying to get around and go through, and it gets foggy at night as well, so no. Marvel mystery oil, and buy it because I like the smell of it. Really, it's freaking awesome. It's yeah, I do like Marvel mystery oil. So I bought Marvel mystery oil the other day. I was lucky because certain Walmarts, gotta love Walmarts. Certain Walmarts sell 1 gallon bottles of it. Now at Walmart, last year it was around about it was about $15 a bottle. By the time you pay your little bit of tax on top, it probably came out to about 17 bucks or so. Now it's basically $20 a bottle, so it's gone up by $5, and oil itself has gone up in price. That is becoming you can see, I can see a change there. I used to be able to go into a store, and Walmart's the best example because Walmart stocks in a majority, not a minority, and I go to a lot of smaller places. I like that, but occasionally you have to use Walmart. Walmart's to an advantage for us because it's not always easy to get parts in places, and they have certain items like oil and that I can get a hold of that the other places don't. So I went to get oil, and the oil shelves on certain products are being sold out. I mean, it's insane seeing the shelves being cleared of oil, and that I'm talking about mainly for trucks. So for diesel, best way to explain it is diesel. So I'm seeing these oils, and they're becoming, you know, like shelves are getting less and less. That is something I definitely do see. Milk, it depends. Milk at Walmart's and that, I haven't yet seen a major shortage when I go into like a Walmart, but I don't visit them very often, and not in every state or in every town. So I don't know what it's like all over the place. But milk as a Walmart, I can normally get a hold of milk, and it isn't normally an issue. So but the truck stops and the little mum and pops that I go to, that's a totally different story. They are really struggling. If they even get any milk in, the locals, which I can't really blame them for it, but the locals and that will come down and buy the milk, you know what I mean? Not all of them. So of course it's a struggle to get milk from a truck stop or your local little gas stations and your mum and pops, and that it is extremely difficult. And then I look around and I notice certain other items that I buy like yogurts and that, and yogurt drinks and that, and even they're becoming scarcer and scarcer. And I noticed that there's not a huge majority, and if there was a huge majority, people know, so they bulk buy it. And like, again, I wish people really wouldn't do that. I think that's an unfair circumstance, but I understand why they do it. I get that whole panic buying thing and bulk buying and that, I get it. But at the moment, we're not in that situation, and that's what I don't understand. It's like, why would you buy so many items when they're not there yet? Plus, it doesn't last forever. So I notice that and I see that. So it's interesting to watch. In Lexington, Nebraska, there's a Walmart at Lexington, Nebraska. They're off of Interstate 82, exit 237. And that's like my favourite Walmart, because it normally has everything stocked, and there's a laundromat right next to it, and it's got parking for trucks, so they sort of recognise us a little bit. But a lot of Walmarts won't let us in now, which is understandable. I get that, I get it, I do understand why. It's not because of us so much. A lot of it was because of other reasons, and they sort of, certain truck drivers were, I can't believe this. I was told this the other day, and I've heard this a few times from different drivers, and they've asked the managers about parking, and they've been told that they had drivers that were coming in, and this is so ridiculous, they were harassing the female staff, and they were trying to entice them back to their trucks. And I'm like, you gotta be joking, man, that's ridiculous. It's like, it's not even worth getting into as such. But I'm like, this is the problem. And then you don't know what they're up to about coaching them back, you know, if they're trying to take them, you know, because they've been offered money to get females, you know what I mean? And even males, I should imagine as well, most probably. This is going to be fun. Hold on, Mark, hold on. Good job I'm not speeding. But yeah, I've heard that story a few times. So certain Walmarts weren't letting us in to park up, which is understandable. And I'm waiting for them to put barriers across eventually, and the majority of them, so that we can't get into them anymore. And then other places that I like to shop, there's other sort of local places in towns and states. They got to the point where they won't even let you park on their grounds anymore. So then you're like, man. So you drop a trailer, you know, like you try and drop a trailer when you're at a, you know, like a Tyson facility, and you're waiting on a load. Then you can bobtail and hope, you know, you can bobtail then, and they don't bother you with a bobtail line, you know. I don't personally like taking my trailer to the ones, if they don't have like outside parking or edge parking, I don't really like taking the trailer there all the time, to be honest with you. Because I know a lot of people are very inconsiderate and ignorant, and they'll just jack it around, and then they'll screw up the base, and they'll rip the tarmac up, and they'll rip the parking lot up, you know. Car park to us, as we know, car park. So they'll rip up the parking lot on that, and of course, you know, they got to come and get it repaved, and Walmart rents the ground. Walmart doesn't own any of the ground. Nobody owns any of the ground, so it's all rented. So they all have landlords and that. That's why they don't. And that's the thing. It's like, even though Walmart allow you on, really and truly, I suppose it's not Walmart's decision, because they rent the ground from people. I'm sure that someone will tell me I'm not right, but that's what I've been told. And I also know that for a fact, because I used to park my truck behind a shopping mall, and I got a phone call from the company I was leased to. This is like back in 2010, 2011, and I was told that I had to move my truck because the landlord that owns the ground didn't want me parking there. And I've been parking there for quite a while. It had been probably a year or so. I've been parking there without any issues, and then one day they said and I should imagine it's probably something happened. So it's a catch-22 in this industry. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So I gotta stop the video. I'll record it. I'll let it get to 34, and then I'll stop and I'll start a new one. Hi. He's looking at his phone. Little house at the Prairie. Little
Little House of the Prairie, not on the Prairie. Little House of the Prairie. Brown eggs, because they're brown eggs come from brown chickens.